Ghyrson Starn has a type, okay, and that type is tall and handsome and happens to have a purple hat and a white beard. Our commander really wants pingers in this deck because whenever another source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, Ghyrson Starn Kelermorph is going to deal 2 damage to that permanent or player instead. So let's jump right into the deck. There are a lot of pingers in this deck, at least 24, and pretty much these are going to deal 1 damage to either each opponent or target player, and with our commander that's going to be able to make it 2 damage instead of the 1. It still may not seem very powerful to you, but this deck can get pretty silly, because let's read our commander one more time. It says whenever another source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, Ghyrson Starn Kelermorph deals that damage. So we have cards like Curiosity and Ophidian Eye. Whenever the enchanted creature deals an opponent damage, we may draw a card. So whenever our pingers are tapped, dealing 1 damage, actually 2 damage with our commander, we get to draw a card for each time they deal damage to an opponent. These are very powerful cards because if we have 3 pingers on the battlefield and we target our opponent with them, that will be 6 damage to our opponent and 3 cards we get to draw off of one of these. And let's not forget Tandem Lookout. This is the same thing except now it's on a creature, and whenever this enters the battlefield, we get to pair it with another creature. And this creature and the other creature we select are going to have, whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, draw a card. Another silly thing to do in this deck is to start returning creatures to their owner's hands. For example, Sigil of Sleep. This is a silly enchantment where we can attach it to our commander, and the enchanted player, whenever it deals damage to a player, we get to return target creature that player controls to its owner's hand. And this is the same as Curiosity and Ophidian Eye. Our commander is dealing our opponent's damage whenever our pingers are dealing our opponent's damage. So if we hit them 3 times with our pingers, with their tapped ability, now dealing them 2 damage instead of the 1, we get to start returning their creatures to their hand. This can be a very silly card. Now, as you see, our commander is very important to us, so we have great ways to protect it with cards like Mask of Avacyn, Mirror Shield, and Swiftfoot Boots. This is going to give our commander hexproof. If our opponents want to target our commander, they're going to have to destroy this first, and our commander also has Ward 2. So if this becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, we get to counter it unless they pay an additional 2 mana. So our commander's Ward 2 on top of these equipment is going to do a lot for us. And even more silly things, let's talk about Gorgon's Head and Loxodon Warhammer. Gorgon's Head is an equipment where the equipped creature now has Death Touch. And since our commander is now dealing damage whenever our pingers are, we can target an opponent's creature and instantly kill it, which is really silly. Same with Loxodon Warhammer, except now our commander is going to have lifelink, so whenever we deal damage, we're gaining life. So it can end up being 3 pingers on the battlefield. We deal 6 damage to one of our opponents, we gain 6 life. That's a 12 life difference between us. And we can really affect the game with cards like Breaking Wave and Dramatic Reversal. This is going to let us untap all of our permanents, creatures with Breaking Wave, so if we're able to deal enough damage twice to all of our opponents, this is going to be the way we win the game. So how much did this deck end up costing? Well, $35, which is a great budget price, and if you'd like to purchase this deck, it'll be in the description down below. And if you like this video, you're going to love this one right here. Thank you to the patrons who help support this show, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.